Hello and welcome back to another farming video where this time, well, I was thinking, and oh boy, the rain just encroached on the video. Anyway, something I was thinking about was, well, Minecraft farms are kind of evil if you think about it. Like, for the most part, they take advantage of absolutely slaughtering a group of, well, anything in Minecraft, and you can kind of get the profits from it. So I was thinking, what if I thought about it and I worked on what could be the most evil farm I could think of, and well, basically that's this video. I'm gonna work on that. So originally, what I was gonna do was I was actually gonna make a golem farm and kind of custom fit it to only spawn cats and continuously burn cats over and over again. But the problem with this farm is that, well, cats have a drop. They drop string, and that could technically be a use, meaning that it's not that evil. Like, I'm okay with burning cats if it gets me money. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna make a farm that burns pretty much the only creature in Minecraft that doesn't drop XP, doesn't drop any kind of drop actually, and pretty much everybody loves them. The mob I'm referring to is, of course, the Minecraft wolf, which, I mean, who doesn't love this guy? He's pretty nice. Huh. I was really expecting that to work. Okay, maybe it feels a bit more centered, and, nope. Man, I'm bad at being evil. Okay, let's try this again. I did that thinking I'd feel a bit more evil, but to be perfectly honest, I don't. So, I'm gonna try to figure out how to do this. Still not evil enough. How many hit points do these things have? Nope, still not evil enough. That'll do. I think that's enough prepping. Now I think it's time to actually work on the farm. To breed the wolves together and basically be able to make more without damaging the initial wolves. That way I can get an infinite I can get infinite puppies to, well, kill. Okay, so I've gotten the first portion of the farm in, and basically how it works is I feed these two, they make another wolf in there, and that wolf stays in there forever. Pretty simple process, and I could pretty much repeat it infinitely depending on how many wolves there are. So something I'm going to do really quick is fill this up with adult wolves, so that I can very quickly, basically, well, fill this up with adult wolves. I don't really have anything else to say, and man, am I reverting to being horrible with this kind of stuff again. A couple minutes of tweaking, and I have come up with this. Basically, what this is, well, I breed the wolves up. I'm just spamming rotten flesh in there, and more wolves come out. Now, this is already sort of an effective wolf killing machine, because by now they're starting to phase through the wall and sort of suffocate. Let me just get some more. Oh, I think I fed everyone in there. Oh, yep, do you see them sort of popping out? And now basically what I could do, I might be able to just get away with doing something sort of like this. So basically the idea behind this is that when I feed them, they go into love mode, and the baby wolves will pop out and burn as long as this is on all four corners. So this may or may not work. I'm not entirely sure if it does, because I haven't had the cramming effect take place yet, but a quick way I could test this is just by spamming some wolves inside of there. Eventually they will sort of max out on capacity in there, so let me just test that out. Much head scratching later, and I've come up with this, which basically what it is it's sort of like the Java cow farm, except with wolves, and you can kind of just spray click this, and yes, there is a wild wolf in there, ignore that. But you could just spray click this, and eventually, what is happening in there? Eventually, wolves will start, well, pouring out and dying. Something I did notice about this was I was actually wrong. There is a byproduct, that byproduct being XP, so yes, this is technically probably the world's slowest XP farm. So yeah, and then I'm pretty sure if you just want to empty the wolves out, you just gotta open one of those trapdoors if you can even reach them. Just like so. I almost got it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to grab it actually. And maybe if I go in there, what's the worst that can happen? That. Okay, you know what? Maybe we don't open the trapdoors. Let's see if if that even... Yep. Yeah, yep. Now that I think about it, I probably should have added more lava. A little bit of time has passed, and I have been able to make this, which basically it is pretty much the identical version of the last one, just instead of trapdoors and iron bars, we have glass. And pretty much only 3 trapdoors. So basically, when I want all the wolves to fire out, I can open up one of these, and that'll cause them all to shoot out. You may notice that all 3 trapdoors are still here, and that's because I'm not entirely sure which trapdoor is the most effective when firing out the wolves. So I'm going to test with all 3 of them and see which one's best. But as for right now, I need some wolves in here. A little bit more tweaking, and I'm pretty sure that this farm is now ready for test number 1, which is just simply feeding all the wolves and watching more wolves come out. I just opened up the farm. Yeah, you're going to want to stay away from the trapdoors, otherwise, well, that can happen. But I believe the farm is in working order. This is actually getting me a fair amount of XP, to be fair. And technically speaking, if I were... Well, no, I think that only works with regular wolves. The farm is now finished being filled up. Sorry, I was kind of drifted off in thought there. And basically now what I need to do is just open up both doors. And all the wolves will empty out except for a few, which I could then use to start the breeding process all over again. These ones were children. I'm not sure why they were children, but, you know, I could kind of just spam more rotten flesh in here. And bam, I could restart the farm. Pretty useful. But now we obviously have the problem that this farm is not self-sustaining. You see, I'm going to eventually run out of rotten flesh regardless of how much I bring in there, so I need to set myself up an infinite source of rotten flesh. An obvious way to get infinite amount of rotten flesh would just be a spawner, but the thing is, obviously you don't always have access to this, so technically speaking, if you really wanted to, you could make a dark room with like a sifter that would just filter out the rotten flesh and bring it into your inventory. I'm not going to be doing that because I'm creative, and to be perfectly honest, this farm isn't that serious. So I've added this sort of dark Sims crystal that is the zombie spawner, and basically what happens is zombies come out of the spawner, they get filtered through and fall down this hole where they're burned. And their drops are then put into that dropper that is spit out right here. That zombie didn't have any drops, so he didn't spit out anything. So the idea behind this farm basically is you'd have 2 wolves in there, you'd fill your inventory with rotten flesh. This is just, or it doesn't necessarily have to be all out of the first slot, technically speaking, you can put anything there, down there, and your wolves will eventually create more wolves. I don't know why it's not working, probably because I spawned those 2 right on top of each other. Obviously, that situation would be different if you had more wolves in there. Let me just real quick get some more, and once I see more hearts coming up, that will do. Now I just spam more rotten flesh, and the farm should be working. Yep, and basically you continuously click or hold however you play Minecraft. It just depends on your settings, and eventually, well, you'd come across to a point where you're full on wolves, and then you kind of just go, well, I'm full on wolves, and you open these doors up. Ideally, both that would fire out all the wolves you need, and then you are done, and you're clear to use the farm again. Obviously, this farm, to be frank, is stupid. It would not be a good idea to put this in any of your worlds simply because, well, it wastes a good spawner, it breaks very easily, and, well, it's just not a good idea in general. Oh my god, they keep... So, there is, I guess, some benefit to this. Like, if I were just to filter myself out through survival mode real quick, fair amount of XP. I was at, I think, 10 or 11 when I started this video, and I didn't do much here, and I got that just by sitting here and breeding the wolves. So if you were doing something like a peaceful challenge or something along those lines, you could technically use this as a passive way of getting XP. Basically, you just feed the wolves, and then they give you XP from breeding, and obviously your worlds won't get too laggy because you're, well, you know. But other than that, there really is no practical use for this. It's not very useful. The only thing that was of any merit here was the zombie farm, because, I mean, I'm none too good at making, well, actually, that's a lie. I'm pretty good at making farms, but I actually haven't made any zombie farms in a pretty long time. And this one was actually decent, so that's the only thing that I'd consider have any worth here. But other than that, well, this farm, well, it was a bit of a silly idea, that's all. So I do hope you guys enjoyed watching, and if you did, please consider subscribing, and, well, that is all.